What's up, YouTube? It's about that time of year again. March Madness is upon us, almost. Starts up tomorrow. Feel free to comment. Let me know who you think's going to win it, who your picks are, your upsets, your Cinderellas, who you think's going home early. It's my favorite time of year. I love watching March Madness, and man, I'm excited for this tournament. A lot of stuff going on, a lot of upset possibilities, but my pick, as it is every year, to win it all, Duke Blue Devils, Duke University. Go Devils. All right, now on to some important stuff, or not so important, but something that I thought may be able to help you guys out. I had a Twitter follower of mine ask me a question yesterday that I thought was really insightful, really interesting. He asked me if I ever got nervous, and if I did, how do I go about dealing with it? And there's a lot of things I wanted to talk to you guys about on that. How do you focus back in when you lose focus? Why do you get nervous? How do you hopefully train to not get nervous? Stuff like that. There's a lot of different things that I do and some ideas I have, so I wanted to kind of share some of those with you guys. All right, so to answer the original question, do I get nervous? No, I don't really get nervous for baseball stuff. I have been nervous before for like public speaking or uh, stuff that I don't really do a whole lot. And I think that kind of speaks to why we may get nervous. Um, if you're confident in what you do, if you're confident in your preparation, if you've done it enough times, there really should be no reason to get nervous. You're just going out there and performing what you've practiced. You're doing what you normally do, every day. I think that's one of the reasons I, would get nervous for public speaking. I've never really done public speaking, or I hadn't until a couple of years ago. And one of the things that really helped me get over that is just realizing, the people that are there watching you, listening to you speak, are there because you know information that they want to get. They want to learn what you know and hear you talk, and that kind of helped me find some confidence and go on and be able to present much better than I had before I kind of realized that. So as it relates to baseball, I think one of the biggest things for nerves is to make sure you practice more intensely than any game that you're ever going to be in. I think it was Roger Clemens that said, "My only day off is the day I pitch," and I think that's an important point to emphasize. I think what he's saying by that is he works so hard on the days in between that when the day, when his day to pitch comes along, he's so prepared for that it's almost easy. It's easier than his practice. There's no nerves associated with it. There's no anxiety associated with it. He knows that he's prepared. He's going to go out there and he is going to do what he's done in practice. Everything that he's worked on and prepared for. So I think that's one of the biggest things is kind of practicing, putting yourself in those positions in practice where it's more intense than what you're going to face in a game. So, something that put something on the line. If you're throwing a bullpen. Have there be some sort of consequence if you don't hit a spot, if you don't execute a pitch. Have there be a reward if you do. Maybe have some crowd noise. One of the things that I've done in the past is get a tape recording of crowd noise. One of the things that I've done in the past is get a tape recording of crowd noise and play it during my bullpens so that you get used to people yelling at you, to noise, to distractions, and you have to then practice on how do you focus back in on the goal at hand, which is I'm going to execute this pitch. I need to do this, I need to do that, but at the end of the day, once I know what I need to do, it all comes down to executing that one pitch. And you can only do that if you're completely focused on what you need to do and doing that there. So practicing focusing back in on the task at hand is extremely important as well. Okay, one important thing to remember is once the game's on the line, you're not going to do anything that you haven't practiced before. So if you wait till the game to try to have a pre-pitch routine or a pre-inning routine, or to try to do something new, it's not going to work out very well for you. You got to practice it before the game so you're comfortable with it, so you don't have to think about that, so you can devote all your attention to actually getting guys out, the game situation, what needs to be done, winning the game. That being said, I want to take you through my pre-inning routine and my pre-pitch routine, why I do some of the stuff that I do, and kind of how it helps me and how I go about practicing that before the game. All right, so my pre-inning routine. Once I've finished throwing my warm-up pitches, once I've finished getting loose, you got comfortable on the mound again, catcher throws the ball down to second base, throw it around the infield, whatnot. I get the ball back from the third baseman. What do? Okay, so I stand behind the mound. I'm going to close my eyes. I'm going to hum to myself my favorite song, or a song that's stuck in my head at that time, or a song I heard on the radio, whatever kind of helps relax you. It's important to me that I hum it because the vibrations in your brain helps you relax, helps you focus your brain. Same kind of reason that people will hum when you're meditating. So I'll hum a little bit of my favorite song with my eyes closed, just kind of relax, space out for a little bit, a couple seconds. And then I open my eyes and I look down and I find a pebble on the back of the mound. And I'll focus on that pebble until everything else around it kind of starts to blur out. And once that happens, I'll repeat to myself a couple times my focus for that inning or the day, whatever it may be. I always try to keep that focus positive. So if I'm really working on, I really want to get ahead that day, and that's my main focus, instead of saying don't get behind, I will say attack the zone or work ahead in the count or something along that line. You always want to give yourself positive self-talk so that you don't associate, so that the subliminal message isn't negative, isn't fail. You want the subliminal message to be, okay, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to succeed. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, not trying not to do something. So that's my pre-inning routine. I think a couple things that are really important also are to have a focal point somewhere at the field. It could be something, hopefully something that's at every field you're going to play at. The top of a foul pole, the corner of the dugout, the scoreboard, something like that. So that every field you go to, you can kind of keep it the same. You can always focus in on it. It's always there for you. It becomes a comfort. When things start going haywire, you say, okay, I realize it's going haywire. I'm not in a good position. Let me refocus. Let me look to my focal point, kind of redo my pre-inning routine to help me focus. So when I realize that maybe my head's not in the right place, I'm not completely focused on what I'm doing, I find out, I realize that I'm upset, or I'm thinking too much maybe about the umpire. He made a bad call, or what I thought was a bad call, or maybe there's an error behind me or something like that. The umpire, he made a bad call. The umpire, he made a bad call. And I realize that I'm kind of getting away from my approach of going pitch to pitch and committing to each pitch. I'll take a step off the rubber, maybe step off the mound, kind of refocus in, repeat my pre-inning routine to try to get back in that mindset of, okay, I got to commit to each pitch, and then I got to go and execute it. One more thing that I think is really important on that is the idea of having a think box and a play box, and then a line, a decision line. Once I step on the rubber, that's the time for me to play. I've made my decisions, I've thought. The only thing left is getting on the same page with the catcher and executing the pitch. There should be no thought once your foot hits the rubber. When I'm not on the rubber, say after a pitch, a foul ball, a strike, a ball in play, whatever it may be, that's my time to be in the think box. I got to decide what's the game situation. What's the count? Who's at the plate? Stuff like that. And that kind of leads me into my pre-pitch routine. Okay, so my pre-pitch routine. I throw the pitch. It's over. It's a strike, a ball, foul ball, guy strikes out, ball in play, whatever happens, the result happens. I'm getting the ball back from the catcher, from the infielder, maybe from the umpire if the guy hit a home run off me. Hopefully not, but that does happen quite often. Um, so what do I do? What is the routine? I think it should be simple. It should be something quick, maybe 2 steps, 3 steps that you can repeat all the time, that you can be consistent with, and you can really focus in on that part so you can kind of get away from the external factors of, oh man, I don't feel good today. Um, my defense messed up, something like that. So when I get the ball back, I'll catch the ball, and the first thing I do is I think, okay, what just happened? What's the count? What's the game situation? How did the hitter react to that pitch? Once I kind of processed all that information, as I'm kind of walking around towards the back of the mound, I'm now thinking, okay, what do I do next? What do I need? Do I need a double play ball? Do I need a strikeout? Do I need to throw strike one to the next hitter? What is there to be done, and how am I going to go about doing it? So before I step on the mound, I'm in the think box. I will make my decision. I'm going to throw a sinker. I'm going to throw a curveball in the dirt. I'm going to throw whatever it may be, a fastball to get ahead. Um, I make that decision. I commit to that pitch. Once I've committed to it, I take a deep breath, kind of finalize it, and step on the rubber. Once I step on the rubber, I cross that line. I usually use the rubber as my decision line. So if I'm off the rubber, I'm in the think box. As soon as I cross and step onto the rubber, I'm now in the play box. So now the only thing to do is focus in on the catcher, get the sign, get on the same page as him, um, commit to that pitch, right? So what I do is I come set. Once I get the pitch I want, I come set. I take another deep breath. Now I'm ready to go execute that pitch. One other thing that I do like to think about in the think box is how many seconds am I going to hold? Am I going to pick off? What runners do I have on base? And how do I kind of control the running game? And I try to make that decision as well. I'm going to hold for 3 seconds. I'm going to hold for 5 seconds. I'm going to quick pitch, whatever it may be. I make all those decisions in the think box. Once I step in onto the rubber, I don't think. I just get on the same page with my catcher and I execute the pitch. Um, One thing I do think should be included in your routine, and something that I always include, is a deep breath somewhere in there. In, out, make sure it's deep. Space out for a little bit. Just give your body time to relax. I think that's very important. It also helps me commit to the pitch. Okay, I'm going to throw a changeup. Okay, let's go. Um, some other things you may be able to throw in there are, if you want to repeat your playing focus for the day. So maybe it's get ahead, attack the zone. Maybe it's a mechanical cue for the day. Keep your head on the target. Worry about your glove side, whatever it may be. If you want to repeat that to yourself, I don't think it has to be every pitch, but you can kind of throw it in there maybe as when a new batter comes in. Okay, get ahead. All right, here we go. Something I also do is, if I'm struggling to command the ball, or I'm struggling to throw a certain pitch, I may take a second, step off the rubber, close my eyes, and just visualize what that pitch looks like going to the plate, almost as if I was a spectator watching a TV, watching on TV from a center field angle. Okay, I want to throw a curveball to this spot. Let me close my eyes. What would that look like on TV? See it a couple times. Okay, now I have a clear mental image. I'm going to go in and I'm going to execute that pitch. Okay, quick recap. Some things that are very important. Positive self-talk. I will work ahead today. I will throw strike one. Avoid the negative. A pre-inning routine. Have a focal point. Let your mind space out a little bit in between innings, but once you get out, you've warmed up. Now you're ready to get into competition. Every inning, repeat your pre-inning routine. That's also the routine you'll repeat if you start getting emotional, you're angry about something, an error, a bad call. If you find yourself in that state, trying to overthrow, trying to do too much, getting nervous, step off. Remember, you can only control a couple things: how you prepare and how you execute. You can't control how the umpire calls the balls and strikes. You can't control what has happened or what will happen, but you can control your mindset and how focused you are on your job, which is executing the pitch. And the final thing would be your pre-pitch routine. Think box, play box, use the rubber as your decision line. When you're not on the rubber, think, analyze, commit, whatever. Once you step on the rubber, once you put your foot on the rubber, that's the time to go with it. You've made your decision, no more thinking. If you find yourself thinking on the rubber, step off, commit to the pitch, step back on, and go. Hopefully that helps you guys out some. Oh yeah, one more thing, the most important, how can I forget? Go Devils.